Welcome, everybody, to It Tastes Different Gaming News. What's on the news today? GameScent. Hey, Nick, what would make your gaming experience that much better?
Clean air.
Clean air. All right. So, GameScent is a new device that lets you smell your games. Watch out for the sewer levels. You can smell your games as you play them. As it becomes harder and harder to imagine how studios will possibly make games look more realistic than they already do. We've heard that for 20 years. Developers are trying to find new ways to further immerse players in their games. Some are pushing VR. Some are pushing their controller and haptic feedbacks. GameScent's going to take it in a different direction. They want you to smell your game. They want you to smell those burning tires and some other things. It is compatible with consoles and PCs and VR. GameScent is loaded with cartridges designed to replicate various smells you might come across while playing games. The device uses AI to determine when those scents should be released as you play. I've been told my scent should never be released when I play, and that hurts my feelings. If you're locked in a firefight and bullets are flying around you, a scent matching that situation will fill the room. It can also make it smell like you're sailing through a storm in Sea of Thieves or trasping through a forest on Pandora. The GameScent can emit 5 different smell scents designed to replicate what an explosion smells like and the aroma of a racetrack, joining the 3 already mentioned above. GameScent has also promised some of the following smells coming soon to its device. The ocean, the smell of freshly cut grass, and blood among them. Yeah, it's a little weird, isn't it? So I'm not going to go too far because I want to speculate things because it's funner. So to be able to smell your game is a really odd thing. But I think about it and I can laugh, but I can also see the appeal. Racing fans, guys who build those big simulators for their race, their racing games. Why not throw the smell of burning rubber through there? I mean, that's kind of an interesting idea. Playing Sea of Thieves, an ocean breeze blows by or a pelican fart. That's just, immersion. I kind of like the idea of that. So let's jump into these guys here and see what they think about the smell-o-vision, the scent. Pat, you look like a guy who enjoys a good smell. What do you think about this?
Nothing like the smell of napalm in the morning, right?
Smell got too real.
Yeah. I mean, they say the olfactory response is heavily tied to memory. So if it builds a nostalgia for some games that otherwise would have been a boring or footnote in the gaming industry for you, I guess it's a good thing, right? You're out there playing golf and you're getting hit in the face with some whatever future scents they got, storm, fresh cut grass, golf course, fresh air, whatever you want. You're playing on the coast, you get the little ocean spray. I don't know. It's an interesting concept. It's not for me on round one. Maybe in the future, a lot of the scent stuff kind of worries me because, there's the whole scent industry is rife with stuff that is really bad for your health, that is full of carcinogens and stuff like that. And that worries me, but because it's an unregulated thing. What are they using to produce the smell of gunfire, explosions, racing, and forests? Are they pumping like acrid? How do they make an acrid rubber smell of a racetrack? Or the musky smell of a forest? So that's interesting. But I will wait for somebody else to try this out and see if they develop a third arm or something, or a tumor. I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily need that. I know for sure I don't need the 6 senses or whatever that's coming out when it releases. I don't care about smelling the gunfire in the room or the fresh air or the forest, you know, or the race. I don't play enough racing games, so the racetrack would be a scent that never runs out. The one time I play a racing game, the scent expired 2 years ago and smells like ass or something now. You know, um, it's an interesting concept. And immersion is all about what video games is all about, right? You know, VR is they're really pushing that market, trying to make VR what it is. And, you know, and in my opinion, it's got a long ways to go before it replaces regular standard gaming as the next medium for gaming. But it'll be there eventually, right? It will eventually become the thing. You know, I think that it will, if it keeps going the way it is, it's going to take a long time, but it will supplant until something better comes along, like plugging your brain directly into a game or your spinal existence, or they just plug the console into your spinal cord and you just think you're in the game and it looks like whatever your imagination can dream up. You know, that will be probably the thing. And then, you know, you've got to bring all the senses into it to make it real, right? We've got visual, we've got audio. So you need the touch, the smell, and then taste, I guess. You're going to taste the acrid air. I don't know. What are you going to do, right? You're going to eat that. You know, I always thought playing the Final Fantasy games, the food they cook in those games is pretty damn awesome. I'm like, I'd like to try that. So eating some chocobo steaks. I don't know what, you know, in Final Fantasy, what are you going to eat? You know, it would be an interesting concept, but, you know, we've got the audio and the visual down. Visual in VR is a lot better if they can get the realism aspect and things like that down. But you know, audio is like on point in video games. You put on a headset and it's just like you're there. And in VR, you can get the visual immersion of wherever you look is there. You know, you just got to get the body to cooperate so you don't get motion sickness because you're not really moving around or doing anything. And so eventually, scent is next, right? Scent's the easiest one to overcome because it's just producing a scent. There's a lot of scents in a video game that they're not reproducing here. They're reproducing 6 scents. And I'm like, so what are you going to smell when you're in Resident Evil? You know, you crap your pants, you're going to smell something there. You're going to smell death and decay. That's not really a scent that exists yet. You know, it's things like that, right? I guess they got their Warzone games covered. You know, you got gunfire and explosions. And then, like you said before, there's going to be like blood or human exertions out there. So that you're going to be able to smell the bodies rotting on the freaking battlefield. I don't know. It seems like the next evolution in gaming because they tried the whole to get by the touch. You guys remember the old touch vests, the actual vest that you wear that they use sound to mimic like getting hit in the back or the chest or something, which is a cool concept. And that kind of really didn't take off. It's still out there, but it didn't really take off. So sensory, more senses involved in the game, create immersion. That's all I got to say. It's gonna, and the thing's there. It's cheap for what it is. It's $150. You know, to be extremely cheap, it'd be a $50 thing. But you know, I mean, well, let's just think about it in this sense. When you buy an air freshener for your house, how much does that damn thing cost with one pod? Like freaking $20. So you're getting a machine that can interpret sounds and things from a game and create an olfactory scent for it. So, and it can do 6 different scents right now and eventually more in the future or whatever. So, you know, 6 different scents on demand. And they used to be $20 a pop on this whole, well, you know, when you buy these whole things. So, you know, $150, $120. You know, it is what it is. It's not too expensive. It is expensive, but it's not real expensive. When you look at VR, which is doing the visual immersion, that's a super expensive piece of equipment. The eyes are hard to trick and the eyes are hard to get to do what you want them to do. But the smell, not really that difficult, right? It's just a sense. So in my opinion, it's the next logical evolution of immersion in video games. It is what it is going to be. And you know, I think the adult entertainment industry is going to pick this up next. It's going to be rough out there, guys. But Nick, what do you think? Are you ready for that dating sim with your sense, your game sense?
Why does your game room smell like a fish fry?
I'm ready. Yeah, one of the future scents that are coming is zombie. So there you go. There's your Resident Evil scent. The smell of decaying flesh, I guess. And that's, I don't know if I would want to pop that one in there. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny to talk about like this scent thing with like smell-o-vision, that type of thing. Back when the N64 came out with the Rumble Pack, right? I mean, think about the Rumble Pack at that time. That was a revolutionary thing, and something that I think a lot of people at the time thought, well, that's kind of stupid. We don't need something like that, right? And that's in everything now, right? I remember when that came out, me and my friends were making fun of it when it first came out, saying, "What are they going to do next? A smello pack? You pop it in the back there, and it pops scent out of it, and you can smell your games and stuff." And we ain't that far off, right? I mean, the Rumble Pack took off, and now every controller out there and just about everything has a Rumble feature in it. And something like this device, like Pat said, it's the next step in that immersion market. I wouldn't be surprised if at some point, like consoles come with the next controller has some sort of scent thing in it or something like that, right? Or like some additional controller they sell, or you can pop pods into the back of the controller that smell scents and do various things of that nature. But yeah, it's interesting. I would be interested in trying it just to see what it, like how it makes me feel when it, whatever I'm playing and it sprays the mist in the air. Does that increase my level of immersion within a game? I don't know. It would be interesting to try. I mean, it's $150. I don't want to buy one. I just want one sent to me, and then I'll try it, and then you can have it back after I dispose of all the scents. I didn't see anywhere where you can buy new scents. I'm sure you can, but all I seen was just the device itself, surprisingly. So I don't know how much the cartridges are by themselves, because once the cartridge runs out, you'd want to have to replace it. But yeah, the new scents coming, like Shane said: ocean, fresh cut grass, zombie, blood, big city. So you got that dumpster smell, and more. So
crap and piss in the sidewalk.
I think zombie and city is probably the same smell. Maybe blood.
They're all the same smell. You put them all in the same cartridge. You put gunfire, explosion, blood, zombie, big city, and fresh cut grass into it, because it holds 6 pods. So those are the 6 you want to stick in there. No, I mean, it's cool. It's a cool idea, right? Whether or not, I mean, when we saw that this thing has been around for a while, right? I didn't see when this originally came to being sold, because you can buy this now, right? This isn't something coming. This is something you can go and purchase today. Like Pat said, it's $150. It's on Amazon. You can go on there and buy you a GameScent. It also works for movies. So if you're watching movies, you can get the sense of whatever the hell you're watching. So yeah, I mean, it's a cool idea. I don't know. I'd like to try it out. That's all I have to say.
Well, what scent do you get when you watch adult films? I mean, what's the smell of daddy issues? I mean,
isn't that zombie or Sports
zombie.
Arena? Sports Arena was one of those I saw that was coming out. The Sports Arena.
I figured it was blood and fresh cut grass, but
but yeah. So I mean, it's funny though that you say that. But yes, they show that the scent pods are individual and you can buy them, but you can't buy them on Amazon. At least not yet. It doesn't show them. It just shows that because when you go to their shop, it directs you to Amazon to buy it, and when you shop their store on Amazon, it doesn't show the actual pods. It just shows the unit to buy. And I'm like, well, where's the pod?
Yeah.
Where's the individual pod?
And how long do they last for? I mean, Pat got me a candle for Christmas about 6 years ago, and you could smell it pretty good for about 4. So, I mean, does it last that long? I mean, how long does zombie ass smell? I mean, how long does it last? And two, what is the smell of blood? How do they? I mean, hey Johnson, we need a new smell for this. Go find a dead body, sniff it, and see if there's any blood left. Check that out too. How do they come up with the smells? And how does the AI figure out when? So if you hit a guy in Grand Theft Auto, do you get tire and blood, or do you get zombie and blood, or zombie and tire, or does your AI just give you everything and then to make it smell better, a little burst of fresh cut grass at the end? I mean, it's interesting, and I would buy one. I would, but I don't think I'd do it right now. I think I'd wait till there's a little more information, a little more refined. Like Pat said, I mean, if you can only find the device for sale right now and you can't find the additional pods, I'll wait. But it is a really interesting idea. Pat just recently got his first VR set. He got the Quest, and I think this, along with haptic feedbacks and like Nick was saying, the vests that you could feel like bullets hit you and things like that. I think a culmination that could be really interesting. It really could. I mean, if you're playing what's that, the lawnmower simulator. I mean, Pat's got his goggles on. He's in his game room, just mowing the lawn. Little scents of grass pop up. You see him look at his foot where he stepped in virtual dog shit. I mean, it could be really interesting. You could do interesting things with it. So I won't knock it.
So what does Helldivers smell like? Your pod and the bugs and robots. That's what you say, Helldivers.
I don't think it could get over the smell of my ass, because that game is it's something else. I love that game. So I don't know. I wouldn't knock this ideal down, because it definitely has merit. I mean, I can make 1,000 more jokes about smells, but it really is an interesting concept, a really interesting idea. I don't know if it would be worth $150 at this point, though. But that being said, if somebody wants to send me one, I will give you the address. Any sense you want, I don't care. To a point.
They're going to make their own scents and put in the bottle. You think you're getting gunfire and explosion. You're going to get some other type of.
You're getting Uncle Gary's
explosion.
rotated rectum.
So yeah, I mean, it's an interesting concept. I won't argue with it. It just depends on how strong it is, how long it lasts, how much scent pods cost. I mean, if we're talking about one scent pod costs $20 or $30, you might as well say, man, and it can only hold 6. So
I got a whole pack of incense for like $1, and these damn things last forever on smell.
So. But it'd be the same concept. So what I would get annoyed with is that if I want to play a game and I want to get immersed in it, and it's this game and it requires these scents, I have to pop out and swap scents. I mean, that to me is just more of a hassle than a headache.
Yeah. Or worse, you're let's say me and Nick are playing a racing game of some sort, and Pat's like, hey, let's jump into Helldivers. Well, we already got the smell of burnt rubber going through the game room, and how long is that going to last? Is that going to overpower the scent of zombie and bug guts and blood? I mean, how long and how strong is that? So, it's an interesting concept. I would love to try it. Honestly, I'd love to just have somebody send that to me. Hint, hint, wink, wink. So it'd be pretty cool. I do like the ideals of immersion in gaming, in all aspects: touch, taste, feel. I don't know if I want to taste a game, but I'd be willing to try it.
Yeah. It sounds like a cool concept, right? Could you imagine playing a game and you're playing some story-driven game, and then you wake up in the morning, your character's going for a pot of coffee, and you just smell coffee. And you're like, that's awesome, right?
Yeah.
Or they're Granny's baking a pie in the kitchen. And you're like, there's apple pie going on in the kitchen or something,
Yeah.
Just cool things like that. I mean, all that's going to do is cement that game into your memory more, because olfactory is is one of the major senses in building a memory of something, So that's going to be the next generation's nostalgia, right? You're like, You guys remember when we played Call of Duty 2096 and you could smell the battlefield? And now, that'll be the nostalgia for them,
Yeah. It'd be interesting. One thing I do like about this article is the real last part is I'm going to go find out what it smells like when Sonic drowns. That's interesting. I can't stop thinking about what. I don't think it would be a wet cat.
When he loses all of his rings, what's that smell like?
Peter Dinklage. I don't know. Copper. All right. Well, you guys got anything else to say or smell?
No, it's neat.
All right. Well, what do you think? Do you want to smell Call of Duty? Do you want to smell Call of Duty? Let us know. What do you think? Is this truly immersion? Is this something that you would have in your room? If you've gotten it, please let me know. Please. Maybe send me one too. But let us know what you think if you do got it. Is it interesting? Is it worth it? Is it the Dreamcast and ahead of its time? Let us know. Don't forget to hit those subscriptions, hit the like button, all those good things. Don't forget to tell your friends and family about us. And make sure that subscription button gets hit because it makes us happy. It makes us real happy. And until next time, see ya.